All right, everyone. We are back for episode 30 of Stub Love Live. I have to thank everyone for watching and for supporting all of this. I have to tell you, I can't thank you all enough. Let me go ahead and bring Jon in. The Tickets to History. He's going to be talking to us tonight. All right, Jon, how are you?
All right, how are you, Howard?
I'm doing really well. We got a lot of people on here tonight. We got, I see Tom Daly with the Let's Bring It. We got Justin Sutterfield on. Got Papa Jim, Scott Forker. We got Melissa Lynn 516. Can't wait for this. So here we go.
She's all right. She's all right.
Kobe Ruth _ Dirty 30. We got Brandon Johnson, Hall of Stubs, Weaver's Collectibles. Got some good ones on, Jon. So I appreciate you coming on. Are we talking from like the New York Giants man cave? Is that what it is?
You got it. You got it.
Wow. You know, I think I might. I don't know what would happen if a Philadelphia Eagles fan like myself walked in there. It's like kryptonite.
Not allowed.
I'm not welcome, right? Not welcome. So we did a little bit of chatting now a couple of times, kind of getting ready for your appearance. Tell us a little bit. Tom says I'd vaporize. I probably would. Yeah, he's a big Giants guy too. You know, sorry to both of you, but tell me a little bit, Jon, about how you started collecting tickets and kind of what got you into ticket collecting.
Yeah, sure. So I was an 80s child. I grew up in the 80s, and my first game was 1987, and that was unfortunately the strike season for the NFL. But the Giants were coming off their Super Bowl win against Denver, and for my 7th birthday in October, my dad told me that I'm gonna take you to your first Giants game. We're gonna go to Giants game. I said, all right, nice, beautiful. And the first game that I went to, the strike players were there, and there was about probably 8,000 people in the crowd. Nobody came, but it was still awesome. It was my very first game. I'll never forget that. This is the ticket to that game.
Wow!
Yeah. So
very cool.
I always kind of like keep that as a keepsake. That's the first game that I went to, and then I just started collecting the games that I went to, just threw them in a shoebox, and just started collecting the home games, right? Because my family has had season tickets to the Giants going way back. Never saved the stubs, unfortunately, but when I started going, I started saving the stubs, and then I started collecting and looking on eBay for home games. That's how it started. Giants home games, right? And then when that started to dry up a little bit and it was getting slow, then I said, all right, let me try away games. And I started doing away games. And that started getting a little slow. And all right, let's do preseason. And then we went to preseason and then playoffs. And it's really a very large project. As I'm sure you can imagine, there's 100 years of football for the Giants this year. Actually, this is their 100th anniversary. But I love it. It's like an addiction. You're always looking for the next thing where you can find it. And you're always just looking for history. And when you have 100 years of history, you got so many cool things that you can find that aren't really popular. And I always tell that to people, check newspapers.com, check all these sites that will tell you things that you don't even know or that are not that popular. So can I just show you a few things?
Of course, please, yes.
All right. So, yeah, that's my section number up there in the old stadium, 127. Yeah, Tom. Yeah.
You and Tom reminiscing about your Giants.
Yeah.
Funny.
So this is a game from 1956. This was actually the first game where the chant defense was shouted by the crowd. Because up to that point, there was a lot of offense and a lot of scoring, and the Giants defense was really good that year. So the crowd started chanting defense, and then that started to become a thing. Uh, this one was a 1942 game against Army. It was a fundraiser for the Army. There was 8 games that were played in the preseason, and they raised about $317,000 or something for the Army. So that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Lawrence Taylor plays tight end.
Wow.
Never knew that. Never knew that until I started researching. But this was the '87 season against the Bills. He played tight end with all the strike players when he crossed the line. And then just sticking with the Bills, this is a wacky one. This one was from 1975. Yeah, it was a Monday night game in Buffalo, and one of the Buffalo fans climbed across the field goal wire and hung upside down on the field goal wire during the game. The game kept going, and he just hung there, and the game kept playing, and they eventually got him down. But
wow.
another crazy.
Wow. So let me ask you this. So I have Justin making fun of me and Reggie White, and he's being funny. It's all good. It's all good, Justin. Yeah. So you collected the tickets that you went to the games. You put those, I think you told me, in a shoebox, and then you started to build back. So it's kind of funny. I was talking to my dad on my ride home from work. I said, yeah, I have this amazing New York Football Giants fan that's going to be coming on the ticket show tonight. And he says, well, what does he collect? I said, he collects every Giants football, a ticket from every Giants football game, period. Oh, my God.
There you go.
Oh, my God. So my dad had a couple of questions. He actually had good questions. He was like, A, how many games is it? B, do you slab them all? And C, how many are you missing?
Okay, good question. So there's 49 playoff games. I have 45 of them, so I'm missing 4. Preseason, and that it gets a little murky because with COVID and no tickets and digital and all that, like it's hard to figure out who prints, who doesn't, and sometimes they print, sometimes they don't. So it's getting a little tricky now with that. So I went up to 2019 just to give a firm cutoff. The Giants still print for me though, so thank you, Giants.
Okay.
Preseason, so there's 432. I have 70% of them, and then regular season there's 1,285. I have 85% of them.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So how often are you picking up tickets to like the regular season Giants games that you're missing, John?
Say that again. Sorry.
How often are you picking up ones that you need here and there? I mean, like, when's the last time you picked up a Giants regular season game that you're missing?
They're few and far between now. It's getting tough. Maybe once a month. Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting tricky. The preseason, those early preseason games are really hard with the low attendance and the cities that are the teams that are no longer in existence. So some of them are super hard.
When you find them, are you saying to yourself, it doesn't matter what the price is now? I mean, the hope is you're finding them for an inexpensive amount. But if you're not, John, I mean, are you saying, look, I'll pay whatever it is just at this point to try to get the collection complete?
Yeah, pretty much. It's gotten to that point.
Wow.
Cover your ears up there. Cover your ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't tell your wife, John,
right.
that you're spending money on random Giants tickets from the 60s or whatever, 70s. That's crazy. So my understanding too, John, is that you collect, you're a Mets fan.
Yeah.
So it's bad enough that you're a Giants fan, but you're also a Mets fan. But that's okay. We like you, and we're happy to have you
All
on.
right.
But 1986, obviously a big year for the Mets. Mookie Wilson. I think I see your wife. You're already in the doghouse, John.
I'm dead.
We're 9 minutes in, and you're in trouble.
Show's over.
I'm sorry, Melissa. I'm sorry.
I don't pay anything for those tickets. They're free.
So, big 1986 Mets fan. Big year for them. Mookie in the World Series, Bill Buckner. My understanding is you just didn't decide to collect the World Series tickets or the playoff games. You made a decision. I'm going to collect every regular season ticket from 1986 and the Mets.
Yeah, yeah. So I have that. I have 15 left. So I'm getting close. But again, when you get towards the end, it's like really, really, really super hard. I haven't found one of those in a while. But I do have all full tickets of the NLCS every single game and all full tickets of the World Series every single game. So, I do have those, but the regular season one, man, some of them are tough.
You said you need what, 15?
15, yeah.
Are they all away tickets or?
Yep.
Wow. So what do you do, Jon? Like, where are you posting other than boogers, or is it just really boogers that you're telling people, hey, this is what I need. Can you help me out? What are your sources?
Yeah, boogers. Sometimes at the convention, sometimes they have them floating around, but a lot of times it's the home games for the Mets. There's not a lot of away games for whatever reason, so they've been difficult to locate. But yeah, those are the two main spots.
Wow.
Tom, it was that's a good question. Which game did I watch? The '86 World Series or the Giants game? That's the '86 World Series.
Yeah.
My dad was actually at the Giants game, and I was at home watching the Mets game, so we split it up.
Wow. Dad probably regrets that decision, or no?
Yes, he does.
So we also wanted to talk a little bit about the other things in your collection. Now I didn't ask you this, and I apologize. Are you a Notre Dame fan or a USC fan? Because you collect Notre Dame USC tickets.
Yeah, all Notre Dame USC tickets. I'm a Notre Dame guy, and I just have two left. And unfortunately, one of them is the first game, which I think it was on eBay or somewhere about 5 years ago, and it's one of my regrets of not picking that up. I figured it was a little expensive, and I was like, oh, there's gonna be another one someday down the road, and that day has not come. So
that's the 1926 game, according to my notes.
26, yeah.
So you have 27, you don't have 28, but you have 29 forward.
Right, yeah.
Wow. So you saw a 26. Was that the first time you ever saw a 26 for sale?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you friends? Are you, I'm sure you are, with Chase Maz,
Yep.
Ticket History?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's a source for you too. I wonder if he has, I'm sure you guys have talked. Does he have anything that he can help you out with on 26 or 28?
Yeah, I'll check him out.
So how many, so you need two of those, 15 of the Mets, and you're like about 88%, I think you said 85% of the Giants football tickets. That's Jon, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's kind of one of these things too, and I kind of noticed from what you're saying, you start to collect the regular season games and you get so far. You're like, all right, well then I'll go to the playoff games, because I got to do more. I mean, the collector in us, the hunt, we gotta find it. We're gonna do preseason. Oh, okay, we got to keep building because we got to stay interested. It sounds like to me you've done that kind of 3 times, and then you've now moved into a 4th. And my understanding from you, Jon, it's Barry Sanders game tickets.
Yeah.
So wait a second. How does Jon Coniglio, the biggest Giants fan around, biggest Mets fan, big New York guy, start to collect a Lions running back?
Yeah, good question. I'm a traditional guy. I liked the old school football, hand the ball to the ref. We don't need a first down, celebration for every first down. We don't need a dance for every sack. Just play the damn game right and get in the end zone, make the sack, make the tackle, and that's it. And even as a Giant fan, I was just watching Barry. Like I said, I grew up in the 80s, so he was the guy. He was really played the game the right way. I just always appreciated that. And he was a great player, and I just respected him, even as a Giant fan. So that's where that came from.
And my understanding is, so I don't know how many games Barry played total. You'll probably know this, but you're missing 3 of the however many that Barry Sanders played in his career.
Yeah. One of them is you, which is going to be tricky, but the other 2 are Minnesota, away games, which I should be able to get eventually sometime. But
Yeah,
they
you
do.
need to. If they're Minnesota tickets, text me that so I remember that. We have a connection. My friend and I, Rob Pagan, we have a really good collector out there in Minnesota that can get you some tickets. So if there's a couple of dates, at least let's throw it out there, and then he'll put it out in the Minnesota world. Maybe you'll get those, and then you'll just be down to the debut, and you'll have to spend $8,000 on it, Melissa.
That's all.
not a bad purchase though, because it's a pretty tough ticket, a pretty rare ticket. So what else do you have to show? I don't know if you brought some of your goodies, but I think we were talking about Melissa with the funny emoji. So show us what you got. I know you were bringing some of the special tickets tonight.
Yeah. All right. The Giants, there's so many things to pull from, but I'll start with some debuts, some debuts that were played against the Giants or for the Giants. So this is Jim Brown.
Wow.
Right. That was 57.
Yeah.
Then this is Lawrence Taylor's from 81.
Big one. Yeah. Wow.
This one is Sam Huff, 1956. That's a 7. That's pretty good. It was in good shape.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
Now, this one was the assistant coaching debut of Vince Lombardi and Tom Landry, which I always thought was a cool ticket.
That's a super cool ticket. I've seen one before. That's a really cool ticket.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then this one is Gifford and Gino Marchetti debut.
What's any idea, John, on the pop of that one?
2.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we got the Agony of Defeat game with Tittle, right, where he's bleeding in the end zone.
Love that ticket. Love it, love it, love it.
Got this one's a pop one. This is, it's a preseason game, but it's still pretty rare. This is a full of Singletary and Lawrence Taylor's debut game in the preseason. They played against each other in 1981.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. This one's pretty rare, too. It's only a pop, too. This is when Sims threw for 500 yards against the Bengals in 1985.
Wow.
There's tons of stuff. This one's from 1925. This one, actually, you might be mad at this one, Howard, because it saved the Giants franchise. I don't know. You might have wished that they went down, but this one's from 1925. Red Grange was playing for the Bears, and he came in and gave like a record crowd and saved basically the Giants at that point.
I've heard that story before, and yeah, it's okay. We'll allow you guys to still have a team. You barely have one now. So.
All right. Calm down. We can agree on the Cowboys, though, right? They're
for sure. Right, we can agree.
At least we got that. Yeah. This is the Pearl Harbor game in 41.
Yeah. Wow.
And we got just a few championship games here. 38 against the Packers.
Cool.
That's a pop 7. The Detroit one that Mark showed the other night. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
And then I got a couple fulls. This one is the 1961 NFL Championship game, Packers and Giants.
That's a great ticket. Great as a full.
Nice full, yeah. And then another full from 56 when the Giants beat the Bears.
Crazy.
Nice.
Let me ask you this, John. At what point did you pick up the Jim Brown debut? And, I know your wife's watching, but, what'd you wind up paying for it? Was this something you bought a lot of years ago and kind of stole it, or was this a more recent pickup?
And Tom, here's the sneaker game. I got that here too.
You and Tom can have your own show after this.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Jim Brown. It's funny you asked Jim Brown. It's kind of like a Mark Brummer story with Barry Sanders. It was in a Browns lot, and I almost punched a hole through my phone hitting buy it now. and I was, you're sitting at home like waiting. Is it going to come? Is it going to come? You get the delivery thing, it's coming, and this and that, and then it was just one of those lucky things that will probably never happen again. But
so is this recent or is this some years ago?
it was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit. We've been going for 20 minutes. I like to kind of keep these in the 20 to 30 minute range. I guess we're actually 2 weeks away from this year's national.
Yep.
Jon, I'm pumped, and you know why I'm pumped? Because Cleveland last year was so much fun. You were in Cleveland.
Yep.
You were in Atlantic City the year before. Yep. I mean, I think you would tell me, and you would agree, Chicago was way better than Atlantic City.
Yes.
I mean, not just the dealers and what we saw there, but the amount of tickets in Chicago was just, I mean, look, it was tremendous. I would say from the year in Atlantic City to the year in Chicago, I would say 20 times, 25 times the amount of tickets. Would you agree?
Yeah. And Chicago, I love my Jersey, my Jersey towns and my Jersey people and everything, but Atlantic City is just not a nice place. It's not a great area. It's not conducive to, I think, what we want as collectors and walking around with all the money and collectibles and things that we cherish so much. So Chicago is a much better place. And there were more people there. You're right. And I think walking around and trying to find those booths or those ticket collectors, it's like it lights you up because you want to see what people have and you want to talk to people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it this year for sure.
I'll say this, Jon. I mean, and Sean Daugherty and I have talked about it. Mike B always talked about it, and I think everyone agrees. Hey, we got eclectic collect in the house. I'm always happy when he comes in. Good to see Matt. So the meetup, our meetup at the brewery last year, it was just terrific.
Yes.
It was a great event. Doug Valicki was such a terrific host for us. This group that's got it this year, they got a tough act to follow because it was so good last year. We didn't have any of that in Atlantic City. We kind of got together a little bit, some of us lucky ones that get the invite to the Lenny Sterren dinner. Right. But other than the Lenny Sterren dinner, we didn't have any of that. And last year we did. We had the Lenny Sterren dinner, but we also had the meetup. This year, not only do we have the meetup, but we've also got the sanctioned ticket trade night on Saturday night. So a lot of big events. I'm looking forward to it. What's your feelings? I mean, Cleveland going to beat Chicago, not beat Chicago? What do they need to do to keep impressing us?
I don't know. But I will say, though, the meetup is one of my favorite things to do at this thing. Finding tickets and walking around and all that is great, but hearing the stories from all of you guys that are there and the why you collect and how you started, and that's why I love what you're doing right now with all of us, because you get to hear where everybody started, how they did it, where they began, and all that, and that's really, I think it's really interesting, and I love that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be hard to beat, like you said, but it's really going to be a good time.
It was funny. I mean, I got to meet Justin Setterfield last year for the first time ever. It was like, meeting like Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I was meeting a legend. He says, bring the National Las Vegas. What do you think, Jon? I think that's a pretty good idea.
Go. What happens there stays there. Let's do it.
Careful now. But no, I mean, I think it would be a good place to have a national. I think we're going to have, I think it's Chicago after this year. I think it's 3 years in a row that it's going to be Chicago. Yeah. And it's funny, I agree with you. I'm a Philly guy, so we used to spend a ton of time in Atlantic City. Not a great place. Your wife, too funny. Not a great place to host a national in Atlantic City. No. I don't know that Chicago's the safest city either, but we're out in Rosemont there, so it's a more safe environment, I would say. Tom says Fanatics will take over soon. I'm not so sure about that. I asked you, Jon, if you were going to that Fanatics Fest, and you said you were going to be out of town and you weren't going. but if you were in town, you weren't sure you were going to go anyhow.
No, I don't know. I think it's getting, especially with the Brady situation with the autographs. It's just, I don't know. It's, it just leaves a sour taste. Like, it used to be for the fun of getting it and going, and now I think it's just become like this big corporate entity thing, and it's a little bit of a turnoff. But I know people love it, so they do it. But
I think they announced, I saw something that like the lowest get-in price to the Fanatic show is $50. And that's like, I think just to get you through the door.
yeah.
So I'm assuming whatever events and things that are going to happen during that event, are going to cost you a lot of money. So I'm not so sure about that, Tom, that Fanatics takes over. I think there's going to be a place for Fanatics and their show and their fan fest and what they're going to do. But I don't know. I mean, I think us old school collectors, kind of like to walk around and just look at collectibles.
Yeah.
Look at tickets. Look at
And I
stuff.
will say, too, that a lot of people are hesitant to go to National because it's all cards and there's very few ticket tables. But, even last year I was able to find a lot of, not a lot, but, even like these two. These are from 1926 Giant games, right? And they're super hard to find. And they're just sitting there in a case, ready for me to buy them.
Wow. Good for you. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So there's things there that you can get. You just have to, look around.
Well, let's do this, John. I mean, we didn't really get into some of the things that I normally ask because I wanted to talk more about your collection, but that's kind of okay. I guess moving forward for you, you're just looking to put together the holes in your collections. Do you collect anything else other than what we talked about? Or, I mean, are there other things that Jon Coniglio likes?
Yeah, so real quick, it's kind of an odd thing, but I got ticket applications from the Giants from like the 40s and 50s that I think are super cool. These are the things that they used to mail to people and you fill out and, you put what game you want to attend and you check it off and then you mail it back into them with the check and all that. So I got like 10 of those from the 40s and 50s. And I think that's an underrated thing, especially for us as ticket guys. That's something that I think is just a nice nostalgic thing to have.
It's funny that you say that, John. I collect a lot of advertisements for tickets as well. And
Yeah.
I kind of like the ones, kind of like what you should, but I also like some of the ones that have like images of players on it.
Yeah.
I think it's also really cool to go back. You find ones from the 60s or the 50s, just how inexpensive it was to have season tickets or a packet of games. So yeah, I think that's really cool too. I actually have a few from the Masters in Augusta for golf where, you could go to the Masters for a week for, $5, $8 back in the 50s and 60s. But they're really cool. I like that idea. And I don't think a lot of people collect it like you and I.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
not really
underrated.
What's that?
I think they're underrated in the ticket community.
I do too. I do too. So let's go ahead and run the gauntlet with Jon Coniglio. We're gonna start where we always do, John. Stub or full?
All right. So I'm actually a full guy, if I could find it. I just appreciate the hunt and trying to find the full if I can. If it's within reason, I'll get it. But stubs are fine. But if there's a full available at a decent price, I'll go for that.
I'm not sure where you're going to go with this answer. PSA, Beckett, or no slab at all, because we saw a bunch of tickets that weren't slabbed.
Yeah, PSA all the way. I don't think I have any Beckett's. I have one, but all of my other things are all PSA. I have about 250 PSA things in here.
Wow, very, very cool. Debuts or moments, or something in between?
I think moments, because they're more of a discussion piece. You could say to somebody, "Oh, this was so and so's debut." And, oh, okay, that's nice. But if you explain the moment, it's a little more, more detailed. So I like the moments.
Speaking of moments, Miracle at the Meadowlands 1 or Miracle at the Meadowlands 2?
Oh, come on with that. The fumble.
I had to, John. I had to get you one. So.
Neither.
Yeah, neither. PSA 10 ticket or a PSA Pop 1 ticket?
Pop 1.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah, of course. So what's a better catch, John, from a Giants fan? The Odell Beckham catch or the David Tyree Super Bowl helmet catch?
Tyree, 100%.
It's really, when you watch it, it's actually just, it almost looks like it's impossible that he caught it.
Yeah.
I always kind of look at it and wonder, like, when are they going to call the replay and they're going to overturn it? But it's too late. But
and the escape by Manning too was an underrated part of that play.
Really was. It really was. You know, I'm never really a Giants fan, but the Giants beating Brady and the Patriots didn't really bother me all that much because no one likes the Patriots unless you're from Boston, you know, or New England.
That's right.
Which team do you hate more, the Eagles or the Cowboys?
Oh boy. Is there a C? Both? No.
we could throw in the Redskins. I mean, I don't know. They're just been so awful.
I'm going to say Cowboys because they talk so much trash and they haven't won in forever. At least you guys won a Super Bowl recently. I'll go with that.
Okay. That's fair. Does Saquon Barkley lead the NFL in rushing next year? I'm going to ask you one more polite one. Would you rather acquire the Barry Sanders debut or one of those two missing Notre Dame USC tickets?
That's a good question. Wow. I would say the first Notre Dame ticket because I'm a fan of the team, but it's close.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, episode 30 of Stub Love Live is done. Jon Coniglio, Tickets to History. Great guest. Really appreciate you showing off your collection. Thank you for coming on. And I look forward to spending some time with you out in Cleveland at the National in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Howard.
All right, be well. Take care. Thank you.